Hello, this is Alia and Donovan with
Hello.
Dance with Alia, and I'm very excited to talk with Donovan, who is very famous in our community. He's an awesome drummer, and very well known on the West Coast and even on the East Coast, because I had first heard about you from a drummer on the East Coast. Looked you up when I came to Los Angeles, and you've been very gracious as a host and inviting me back into the belly dance world of Southern California, so I appreciate that. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about your drumming. When did you first know you were a drummer?
I've always been interested in music, but Western music never called to me. And I heard an Arabic-inspired song, and I just loved the percussion on it. And I just went crazy and looked for teachers and looked for what it was and said, what the hell is this? And that inspired me to learn. And I didn't start until I was about 30, so I've been drumming for maybe 12 years.
Oh, wow.
And I had no musical experience before that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And it was the Arabic music that got you to learn how to...
Yeah. It was an Arabic-inspired song,
Okay.
and it just was very layered and ethereal and sensual, and it was just very exotic, and the percussion on it was wonderful, and it wasn't anything like Western percussion, and it just totally drew me. So,
Yeah. What was your first drum?
my first drum was probably one of the Armenian Turkish style, which is the tin aluminum ones that are like they're pounded. Yeah.
On the end.
Yeah, and they have a flat head, and then they have bolts on the side.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that was probably one of the first ones.
Okay.
So.
And since then, what other drums do you have?
Oh, right now I have
Or percussion instruments?
dozens. I do some trade work with Remo, so I have a lot of Remo ricks and frame drums. I also have a couple versions of their doumbeks. I have 2 clay ones that I brought back from Turkey. I have an inlaid one that I brought back from Cairo, Egypt. It's a nice mother of pearl inlay.
Yes, yeah.
I have a bunch of aluminum ones, a standard like spun aluminum.
Yeah.
I have the bass version, which is called Dahola. And I have like djembe and a few other miscellaneous drums.
When you play the djembe, do you play it still Middle Eastern style?
Yes. I play the djembe as a big bass doumbek, which is a dahola, like a big version of that. I've taken djembe classes. Before I could find a proper doumbek teacher, I took djembe classes.
Oh, okay.
And so just to get me in the mode of learning.
Didn't want to wait.
Yeah, I didn't want to wait. And the teacher knew, because I would go there like 45 minutes to an hour before class and sneak into the auditorium and just practice my doumbek from like videos and stuff. And so he'd come in and say, "Oh, you're playing that again." And then I'd do the djembe class, and so he was really excited when I found a teacher, and I actually found a teacher through that process of learning the djembe. There was a list of all the master drummers around town of the different styles.
Okay.
And I went to one of the djembe teacher's other classes somewhere, and I was talking to a student, and he says, "Oh, look on this list." And we looked on the list, and one of my major drum teachers, Suhail Kaspar, was on that list. So that's how I found him.
So when did you start, or did you already know belly dancers, or when did you start involving yourself into the belly dance community, actually participating with other dancers?
The belly dance was actually secondary, because I was drawn to the music and learning the music and the intricacies of it and coordinating with other musicians and working with them. And then just over that time, I started dealing with dancers, because they would be pulled in, but I'd see them, like, we'd work with them and then they'd disappear. Then I started meeting some of the tribal dancers, and that's more of a community, like a social community where it's like, oh, come hang out. And that's where I got more into the culture with the dancers.
Yeah. And now you actually host parties and events, haflas, at your studio.
Yes, I have a studio in Eagle Rock, California called Studio Iqaat, IQAAT, which means rhythms in Arabic. And I first got the studio with a roommate, and we specifically got the studio for classes, for drum classes, because he was taking classes as well. And he was a photographer, and so he loved that space for photography, and we loved how big it was for drum classes. And so we initially got it for drum classes. We'd have parties here and there. And then just over time, I started adding to the studio, ambiance here, carpets here, color, paint, and meeting more people. And then I met people that did promotion. And so I sort of supply the resources, and, you know, I have stuff available for other people to use because I'm not really good at promotion myself. It took me a long time to do personal promotion or self-promotion. So a lot of the events at the studio are people, it's like, I have this space, you have a wonderful idea, you can use it, you know? So.
Right, excellent. And now you also give people that ability to use their own talents by teaching them?
Yes, I have 2 drum classes a week, and I do workshops here and there. I also do coaching sessions with dancers on how to match the different sounds on the drum.
Yep.
It's related to, not directly related, but you can find a correlation to the Indian dance, where on the Indian dance, a drummer will play a sound or a rhythm section, and the dancer will match it. And it's not as 100% matching.
Yeah.
But all the major accents and all the downbeats, especially in classical Arabic dance, there's a way to match the drum where if you just see the dancer, you see the music.
Right, right. So they're actually feeling it.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it hard for you to watch dancers who aren't doing that?
It depends on what style they're doing. If they're doing tribal style, it's embedded because tribal is all about counts. It's all about sequences. So even if the accents don't always match, there'll always be a one that matches no matter what. There will be always a heavy downbeat. And then some of the improvisational dancers are really good at matching the accents. And a lot of the ones that are leaders and teachers in the community now also took classical Arabic. Like Rachel Bryce, she was, she took classical Arabic dance for, style before. So she matches it wonderfully. And there's a lot of other dancers where it's just you'll play and it's like, oh my God, you took like classical and you know how like Beledy is or Maksum or Saidi and stuff like that.
Well, thank you so much for taking your time and talking with me.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you.